Welcome to Leave It Better with Smash Afrika. You fumble, right? Like, it's like a day on the set. Just like have so much on your mind. You know the lines. You know what you need to bring.
A bad fumble story, man.
Come on, let's hear it.
So, I've been very blessed in my career to just be involved in like projects who, looking back, I don't even know how I got on there. I'm like, what? So I was on Homeland. They did season 4. They were shooting in Joburg.
Come on.
In Cape Town. So I had a small role there, but I was just glad to be there. So literally I'm sitting on a pivoting chair like this. I'm operating a drone. And then I have a scene with Rupert Friend, Claire Danes, and I forgot the name of this other guy. He's also a big actor. He's got an Oscar as well. So like these are like Hollywood A-listers.
Sure.
It's day one. They're still just trying me out, you know, to see if I do well, they'll increase the days, whatever. I have one job. I have to turn around after their scene and say, okay, got it. That's it. It's not a lot happening. Given an instruction, okay, I'm inside. Yo, when I swivel, I make eye contact with Claire Danes. And I'm just in a movie now. I'm like, this is Claire Danes, dog. This is actually Claire Danes, dog. Like, I'm like, this is Rupert Friend, the guy from Hitman. And wow, I'm looking at this other guy, I forgot his name, but he's also done like, I'm like, wow. And all I hear is, cut. Brother, we need you to... They've just delivered like a 4-minute scene behind me of just technical hitting marks, like doing all this like high level, and I just gotta, So for me, that moment, I just remember afterwards. But the director understood. He could see, man. It's like, this guy's a kid or whatever. He's like, no, relax, man. And I think Rupert and I had a conversation. We went outside in between because they had to reset up. Got outside, had a little chat, and it kind of calmed me down just to connect with him as a human being. But yeah, that was my biggest fumble. Like, I could have not made it to the edit.
Also, you could have decided not to be an actor anymore.
Yeah.
Because of that fumble. And then Rupert stepped you out.
And
spoke to you.
Just like a big brew.
And essentially, he left it better in terms of you fumbling and being able to pick yourself and like, okay, we'll do another take.
Yeah. And
because Lemo is here and he's new. Why is it important to always leave it better than you found it in your personal capacity?
Well, for the thing, firstly, to be, if you really love it, you surely want it to live. I mean, beyond even you know. So for me, it's that. Like, I love this game so much. I want it to live beyond me. And I think I am today standing on the shoulders of giants. One of the guys who I'm so blessed to share an agent with is Dr. John Kani. I studied this guy in my textbook, you know. So if he didn't do the things, I wouldn't have studied him. I wouldn't be sitting here.
Sure.
So for me to do this, I don't know who I'm touching. I don't know who's watching this or my works or whatever, you know, that I do. That will maybe be the next Tuso, you know, so, or Trevor, or, you know what I mean? Anybody to be really impactful in the game and on the culture. And I think what we do is also a massive preservation, you know, as Shaka is, of our history and a telling of who we are to the world. So I think what we do is very important, and it's important to leave it better to allow other people to continue to tell our stories.
Oh, man, it's so beautiful. Now, I want to talk to you about Shaka Ilembe.
Yeah.
What a show. What a production. What an amazing story. What an amazing celebration of our heritage. And what a top-tier looking product.
Oh, yeah.
My goodness.
Shout out Zeno and the
What
team.
an amazing soundtrack. My goodness.
Oh, that's Mbuso.
Oh, what amazing acting.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Thank you, bro.
Everybody showed up. And it just recently has been revealed that if it's nice, we play it twice, so there's season 2, not a repeat. SABC 1.
Run it back.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So walk me through. I mean, there's so many things we can touch on.
Yeah.
But the first thing, I'm not interested in the prep work. No, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm just interested in the amount of letting go you had to go through to be in that character. Growing up in Pangeni, people are hitting you up.
Yeah,
Say
yeah.
say bra.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
are Shaka.
Yo, yeah, no, it's real.
Yes,
man.
kitty.
Yeah. It's the craziest thing, like, especially being from a place where, like, I mean, that's where one of his what's the predecessor? What's the person who takes over after you?
Successor.
Successor. Yeah, it's
It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, so-
After 12, it goes
Yeah,
on.
the bundles.
Yeah.
So one of his successors, Uqedrayo, is actually King Qedrayo. It's the region in which I grew up in, and then the place where Ushaka actually had his base camp and set up like his kingdom. It's like a 20-minute drive from my house, so like it's a surreal thing to represent, you know, something literally close to home, you know, that I do call home. But yo, man, I don't know. It sinks in waves. There's moments where I sleep and forget, and then I wake up. I'm like, wait a minute, this is wild, dog. It's like, you know, for those who can't relate, it's like being a Mandela or playing a Jesus role. It's like something that symbolizes and means so much to so many people. It's surreal, but I'm honored to have been.
Now, how much did you have to let go, bro,
Oh man,
for playing this role?
There's a lot because I'm nothing like the king, man. I wish I was that great.
That's why I'm asking you, why?
Yeah.
How much did you have to let go?
I don't know. I just had to trust the team and the guidance. I had to trust the script. I had to trust the research that was done. I had to trust, you know, everything that I was just being guided. And I think, you know, the journey that we undertook was a very, very spiritual experience. So I think for me, letting go is just a process of acting where, you know, it's very boring to see me on screen the whole time, because after the fourth movie, you're like, this guy is just doing the same thing, you know. So it's kind of an integral part. So it's like something that I don't really think about that much, but I just kind of instinctively do. But I just trusted the team, trusted the script, trusted everything around me to guide me, and I think the spirit as well was there to make sure that we're moving in the right place. And we had, you know, all the people from the royal house, you know, that were the relevant people there to help guide us as well. And yeah, for me it was that, man.
You know, the view of saying your truth dilutes the truth. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean?
In what sense?
So, if you are being exploited, you are being exploited, full stop.
True.
It should not be they are being exploited and now they are speaking the truth of being exploited. They are being exploited.
Sure.
Full stop.
Sure.
Right? And that's the first part. And I think we need to tread carefully when we say my truth, because they'll say it will turn back. It's like it's your truth.
Yeah.
We don't
what
know
about the other people?
We don't know if you considered our truth.
Yeah.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But if we say this is the truth, and this is what it speaks to, and what you're doing is either right or wrong, and it needs to stop based on how it affects the value chain going down. And that's
It's really hectic. And you know, it's so taxing. I remember the one time I called this friend of mine and she was crying. And I'm just like, what is wrong? She's a director. And then I go to her house and I'm just like, what's going on? She couldn't even speak. That's how much she was crying. And she's like, I'm so tired. And I'm like, you're tired? What's wrong? What happened? And she's like, I'm tired of fighting. I feel like I'm always fighting. I've done the work. I've proved myself. But now I still have to fight for my feet. And she's just like, I couldn't do it. I walked out because I'm exhausted. Like, I'm tired. Do you understand the implications that those things have on, like, somebody's mental and emotional health? When that is how you create from a place of, like, your mental and emotional state as a creative. So now when you're already tired, and then I must wake up tomorrow and go to work in my exhausted state after having fought for the thing that I should be getting. You know, and again, not to say we shouldn't negotiate. Of course we should, because production companies also need to make money, understandably. But I just think that there should be that, like, what do you call it? Equilibrium.
Yeah.
Is that like equal meeting point?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and I mean, hopefully we'll get to a good place one day, and hopefully I'll go study law and I'll come back and I don't know, let's see.
But it goes back to the point that you made earlier on about meeting each other halfway.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the cycle of life in general.
This
if
thing
you
of
think
saying
about
60-40, 80-20, I know that's how everyone wants or at least believes life works. You know, you contribute 80, the other 120, then you must just live and settle at that. But the issue is, what happens if you can't do your 80? Or at least what happens when you realize that your 20% is actually exploitation? You know, the buck needs to stop at some point. Now, let's talk about this. This is a little bit light, if you ask me.
Yeah. Please, let's get this down. Like, I'm getting so emotional. I'm like, oh my God.
No. It's. I'm very aware, and you know, part of this podcast, it's like life is not linear, bro.
It isn't.
It's up and down.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And through the people's hardships, we can make jokes about it. And you know, a joke only slaps when it's got truth in it.
Truth.
When it's fabricated, it's like, nah, this is a lie.
Yeah.
Now I want to talk to you about your first day on a production.
Horrible.
And the reason why I'm saying it's
And
light.
I sucked for a while. Can I tell you? Like, I sucked for a long time. Oh my God. Like, just thinking about it, I'm like, oh.
By the way, I didn't know this. This is like
So I worked at Stage 5 Films with super amazing people, and they made the sucking easier. Dylan Mpho, Marcel, Tutoy, and Jolene Manar. This is in Cape Town. So cool. I get there, I work there. Oh, I sucked. I was so bad. And they were so kind. Like, I remember the one time Dylan would call me and he'd be like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah." That time you suck. You know nothing. And then he'd always encourage me though. He'd be like, "You know what? Like, yes, you go to film school, but the things you get taught there are not. It's not what you're gonna come out and do."
Sure.
So be kind with yourself, but I don't need you to pull your socks up. You know, it's like that tough love. Like we see you, but you gotta get it right soon. And I think that experience was actually so good for me because I also just feel like it taught me that the industry doesn't have to be so hard. You know, it doesn't. In order for you can be a leader and be assertive and have your voice heard without swearing at people, without being, shouting at people on a set. People can just come and be happy and talk to you and let you know what the challenges are. So again, you guys meet each other halfway, right? Because we are on set 12 hours a day. We are there sometimes 6 days a week. At the very least, I do not want to walk around feeling like a monster because this is somebody's dad, this is somebody's son, this is somebody's daughter, and I need to see them before they can see me.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? So yeah, I think, like I said, I sucked, but I think it was for the better in the contribution of my becoming.
Yeah. And also, you know what's beautiful about sucking? We all start at zero.
True.
Nobody gets into, like, if there's a radar number 0 to 10, nobody walks in there and they are smashing at 5, 6.
Definitely.
First day.
Yo, bruh. And I always say, like, you the thing about sucking as well is that you can never be in the same place twice.
Boom!
Right?
Bah!
I'm only ever going to be the person who sucks once.
Unless if you play golf.
It depends on your life choices, you know. Your life choice depends on your life choices. But the point is not to suck twice.
Yeah. Now, you said Dylan, right?
Yes.
Dylan was the dude who was encouraging you. There's this new thing that I'm about now where if you fumble, I do not, because we can be very quick at calling out people who fumble.
Sure.
Because we're all professionals here. Pull your weight. But every time like someone fumbles, I go like, okay, cool. You've also fumbled before. You've made a mistake. So, and this is the new thing that I'm on. I call him a Netflix baby in South Africa. I don't think there's a South African actor, I stand to be corrected, I don't think there's a South African actor who's had so many Netflix features I stand to be corrected. So
I think Nambita might have the same amount. Nambita Ben Mazo.
sure.
Yeah.
So same. He's a proper athlete. You either number one or you forget about the race. I'm kidding. Don't take that too hard. I'm messing around.
Yo, man. Miseducation is young adult drama.
Sure.
Set in varsity, bro. Set in varsity. We follow the life of Mbali, who comes from, an affluent family. Her mother happens to be, in politics, an MEC of some sort. But then, she does, she dabbles in fraud a bit.
Sure.
So everything, the assets get freezed.
Oh, man.
And they get seized also. So now, in order for Mbali to run away from, her mother tainting her image, she decides to go all the way to Makanda University, which is where now the rest of the world literally starts. And yeah, it's like a young adult drama focused on varsity. So you could think of anything, bro. You know the shenanigans we all got into in varsity, bro. So it's literally that unpacked in such a beautiful way, bro. I love how there's so many themes that are explored, from relationships to relationships, like, tackling different genders. Right now people are very sensitive, right? And it tackles that because a lot of people don't also get the education of how people are living right now. So what I love about it, it'll educate. I happen to play the role of Caesar Mokoena,
Sure.
Who is the SRC president.
Sure.
And the premise when the story starts or when Mbali comes through is that we are about to run for elections.
Sure.
Right? And then we have Sivu Levine, who is played by Olunga Shabalala.
Sure.
Who is basically like the it boy.
Yeah.
He does sports. He's in the rowing team.
He's basically you in high school in real life.
No, he's not. He's actually not. Because he's got a bit of an identity crisis.
Okay, okay.
He grew up in a Caucasian family, and his sister is also Caucasian, so he was adopted. But so he doesn't necessarily have the reality of both planes of the world,
Sure.
right? He only knows one perspective. So he then wants to run for president as well. So now it's this big, debate, and then there's Ebenezer as well, who is like someone who believes in conspiracy theories, and he's out here. Umar Johnson, Umar Johnson, he's got a conspiracy, but he's like way left. He's the leftist,
Yeah.
So it's these three guys who are running for presidency, but in the midst is Mbali, who takes a liking to Sivu, and then we see how it all like explodes. And one of the topics is the fact that, you are this person's daughter? I mean, you and I should work together. I mean, it only makes sense.
Opportunity.
Yeah, opportunities there. But what I like, bro, one of the themes that we tackle is also fees must fall, and how that affected so many young youths that literally went to university to try and change their lives.
Sure.
Whereas some people are there for just the political play.
Sure.
And some people are there just for popularity. So in as much as it's a comedy, but it's real life. So I like that, we got to explore many different themes and just put it on a platter for everyone to like enjoy.
Yeah, I like that, man. I cannot wait to see it. I also made a young cameo there.
Yeah, man. You did the most, bro. Did the most.
I did a cameo, and I thought I could act, but I realized I was just being me.
Yeah, and you killed it.
Thank you. All right, now let's talk about inspiring the next generation.
Yeah.
And I wanna put it in blocks. I don't wanna just like have you speak to the youth, right? Right now, the African story is important. The world wants to hear about the African story.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to young people in accepting their African story, celebrating their African story, and sharing their African story?
Africa is a currency, bro.
Yeah.
Africa is the currency. Know your roots. Know where you come from.
Sure.
Because I'm sure you are familiar with the bird Sankofa. In order for you to know where you're going, you need to know where you come from. It's very important.
Yeah.
Know your roots, know your history, the right history. Do research, do research beyond the history that you're taught in varsity or in school, because it's only limited. But celebrate who you are. Celebrate your blackness. Love your blackness. Love thy neighbor.
Go for it.
Connectale batho ba heno. Connectale badimo, modimo. Connectale the elders. You know what I mean? A lot of us tend to shift away from our elders because we think we know better.
Sure.
But indlela ibuza abaphambili.
Sure.
So have conversations with the elders. They'll give you game on things that you never knew or didn't have the perspective of before.
Sure.
So it's important to connect. Connect with the water, connect with the sources, connect with the elements.
Sure.
Realize that Africa is the currency, bro. I don't want to go off on a tangent because I feel like I could, but Africa is the currency, bro. Africa is the currency.
I get a sense of like every time I ask questions, I am led by God and my ancestors to ask certain questions.
Yeah.
It was not a prepared question.
Yeah.
So if you say to me, you want to go on a tangent, man, the platform is yours. Because there's one thing, you're going to get home or on your drive home or on your drive wherever. Like, I should have touched on this because it was speaking, but I was reluctant because I don't want to be misconstrued or misunderstood.
Yeah.
I was immersed in the image and the direction of the picture.
Oh, wow.
Now, I didn't know that it would speak to what this podcast is all about. Leaving it better than you found it. Essentially, you are putting on a kid who just graduated from AFDA. Very few people.
No, that was when we made the short film.
Yeah, but wait.
Yeah.
Let me do this, right?
Yeah.
I get excited.
Sorry, run with it. I'm jumping in.
So you got to paint the picture, right? You believe in a cinematographer who just graduated and say, "Yo, we're gonna shoot a short film."
Sure.
I believe in your I believe in your techniques. This is 2009, right? He's a nobody.
Yeah, okay. No, but go with your thing. Go with your thing.
He's a nobody in terms of cinematographers in the country at the time. 2009, fast forward to 2023, and I don't know when production started.
And we filmed 2022.
And you filmed in 2022. Yeah. Fast forward to 2022, and this guy has literally changed the way we see picture just based on his work. His CV speaks on his
Sure
behalf.
Does. Absolutely.
Kagisho Lidiga said, "How can we afford this dude?" But you gave that man a chance to showcase whatever. And I bet when he was starting out, he had many ideas. Some you were like, shoot down. That could work.
So your first intro to our whole chat was about collaboration.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And this is where it's, wow, you have to trust your instincts.
Yeah.
And you have to trust other people's instincts. Yeah. And sometimes you have to say, but he really knows his stuff.
Sure.
And there's so many of them because there's numerous departments.
Yes.
Right. And it takes an army to make a film, and so it's your vision, and you're directing it. And there's everyone. There's the troops, and at the end of the day, there's only one thing that matters after the battle. The film is the medal.
Yes.
Right? That is the only thing.
Yes.
And everybody wants it to be as good as possible.
Yes.
And they're all professionals. So what is it that drives the collaboration? So on the one hand, it's me and you saying, okay, want it to look this way, want this type of a feel. So there's all that, right? Then you do your planning. And then you say, okay, so in order to film this scene, we're going to need 8 different camera shots.
Sure.
Okay. And then you plan that all out and you're ready to go. And then when you're on the film set, your partners, your producers say to you, yeah, but Andy, you've only got time for 4 camera shots.
Oh, man.
And you say, okay, no, but can't we push the time? And they say, well, then the next scene, you're going to have to cut camera shots out of that scene. So you're then forced into making decisions very quickly because time is moving, right? And this is where collaboration becomes super important, because then you're making decisions for the best of your story, of your film, with people who have a strong point of view and are trying to help you. But this is where you now have to say, okay, do I go with what he's saying? Should I go with my gut here? And this is where the fire happens.
Oh man.
Of creativity. And it's amazing how, for how wrong it can go, it's amazing for how right it can
went.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah, how things can just appear out of that. That's like you end up with people saying, "How did you do that?"
Yeah.
And you know that it came out of a moment like that. And that's really, you've got to be very fluid. And for me, that's been the biggest challenge. I'm quite a controlling person.
You are
in
the
creativity.
Admiral.
Exactly. Recognize. So I learned a lot on this.
So in essence, you could say this production like left it better than you found it for you personally, internally.
Very much. And people like Akin and Robbie, Kags, and they're all saying you're only going to know once you've done it. You think you know what it's going to be like, but you're going to have to go through with this thing. Yeah. And like everyone's hoping the wheels don't fall off. Yeah. And it's so true. You kind of need to be on the spot.
Yeah.
And then you know. So I left myself better. Now I feel armed to now make the second film now.
Come on!
Now that I've learned that.
Come on!
Right, okay. Give me another chance. And this is where I'm at right now. Yeah. I love the vibe of your podcast.
Yeah.
Leave it better. Leave it better.
That's it.
See, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
Because you can fail.
Yeah.
But you've left it better.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
It's
really
always-
like this
yeah.
psychology.
It's always good. And as we segue on that, now Tony and Jefferson.
And I know Tony's a friend of yours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Ponsununu. Let's call him by his real name.
yes, Puntununu.
Yeah. Big
And,
Nunu.
Jefferson plays the protagonist.
Yes, he does.
And he does such a brilliant job, but you don't like him. He's like, who's this guy? Right? And these guys come from theater.
Yeah, both of them.
You got to walk me through, because how you wrote the script and how they deliver the lines. What was that? Like, how was that dance for you guys?
Oh yeah, so I mean, like the key. So firstly, being incredibly lucky, and there's other cast members we can talk about. People like Tulani Shange or Daniel Hadebe, who's a brilliant actor, and really had a fairly mute role in it. But if you're speaking about Tony and Jefferson, two highly experienced theatre guys, actors, thespians, also both of them playwrights in their own right, okay? And the whole thing was, with all the actors, and especially those two, because they're the two leads.
Sure.
There was Amakli as well, but really those two were the leads.
Who first encouraged you to go that route, and why was it important for you to share your story across all mediums of communication?
I work with this Kambanabati Vision brand.
Sure.
The team that I work with, I think they are very good people, experienced people in the industry. And when I started to meet them, I started to share my goals, because they were taking care of my career.
Sure.
So I started to share my goals as people they needed to be my manager, and they started to see what is it that I want to do.
Sure.
Then they put it to life. You know, they started to find an author about to Andile. Then we started to sit down and share, like weeks and weeks, trying to get to know each other, to find that comfortable balance and space. When we sit down, manje, and write this book, we can be easy to chat as friends. It doesn't have to be something, manje, I need to think, I always need to go back. It needs to be something that I'm just telling a story.
Sure.
So I think to write that, to have that book, to tell the story of my life. I was not just telling the story of my life just to get attention. I don't ngidlalela ibhola ngitholile attention enough.
And always we gain attention.
No,
And history. When we talk about records, your records are unbeatable.
And I told it just because I score goals.
Yeah.
I told it just because I'm
Sure.
I'm enough where I grew up. The community, how they respect me, how they love me, mamela, I'm enough. And if I extend that to other provinces, to other castes, I'm always humble.
Oh man.
You understand? So people thought I wrote the book just because I needed attention. Mamela, I'm nkula rough ukuthi need attention. Mamela, nkula rough ukuthi need attention. I just wanted to share the story for your kids, Smash. One day your grandkids will have entombazana ofuna ukudlala
My
ibhola.
daughter, my firstborn is a girl. What are you talking
Ofuna
about? She's
ukudlala
2 years old.
ibhola, maybe make it cool. I wanted to create that space for any girl child, any province, noma bangathi uphuma emkhukhwini.
Sure.
Mawukwazi ukudlala uthi one day I wanna go, I can come back home and build a home for my parents as a woman. I spoke about those things just because I wanted people to understand that we're not just tools of this country.
Yeah.
Asi izinto zokulalwa as ngoba singabafazi. No. We have values. You know, we have dreams. You know, I always ask. I chill with guys. My friends are abangani mama bafana. I'll always ask my friends, "Good, why are you dating a woman that intimidates you?"
Sure.
Because if you're saying you want to date a pretty woman, because it's not gonna stop with you.
Ne?
It's not gonna stop with you.
And
So,
yeah.
they're still gonna see this woman which is pretty. Are you ready to handle that? Are you trusting her enough? Or she chose you? So you can't say when a manje ngoba ujola cherry yinhle thina manje singasambulisi sizombulisa
Obvious,
sizombulisa.
It's in fact her beauty is greeting us first, so we are just being reciprocating.
So for me it was about, if I'm really not gonna share these stories, I'm killing the generation that is coming after
you.
me. I'm not telling the world what I've experienced as much as they celebrated me, but they need to know what I went through for them.
Sure.
To sing that national anthem.
Sure.
To score those goals.
Sure.
To not have a childhood.
Sure.
Stay in Kozozong.
Sure.
Them judging me. I needed to go through so much for you guys. And I took all the punches for singing the national anthem. And to lay the path for the ones who are playing today. I chose to take that punch for them. While there's people who think, hey, you push Peter. Peter for what?
No, but I think also, now this is just my 2 cents. The people will talk. Why is it, Daddy?
Yeah.
The people will talk. Whether you are doing something good or doing something bad, the people will talk. Now, if your journey, as you have clearly put it, it's all about leaving it better. You must keep on working and let them vibrate with the noise. Because all it is, when you think about it, yeah. Mara how kora goal, the whole stadium is erupting in joy. You won't even hear a single boo. So carry on.
Smash Joe, I will never stop.
Carry on.
I will never stop because I didn't benefit. So before you comment, you need to think, Portia, who benefiting? A good thing and benefiting on next. And before you speak, ask yourself, which one day I'm going to go and ball.
Sure.
Before you even want food to be more negative, you need to think, let me listen proper. To push it before I comment. But people comment just because they just hate.
Yes.
They just hate. It's not like what you said is wrong or what. They don't like you. Maybe I'm about certain Modise, I don't know. They don't like it. Or I'm uncomfortable. I know I make guys uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah.
But maybe they used to lesbian. I'm not those lesbians.
Yeah.
I'm a different one.
But I also think, generally, for someone to feel uncomfortable by your confidence, by your aura, it's none of your business. They must deal with themselves. As we segue into Temunati.
Yeah.